I'm pleased to announce our first storyteller who has a story about staying involved even when things fall apart. A farmer from Southampton, Caroline Holladay.
So I'm ready to go for the day. I have my bagel and my iced chai latte, and I am ready to take on the challenge of reseeding a new field. So my farm in Southampton has acquired a new field right on the Southampton-Holyoke border. The field is massive. It is conveniently located just a short drive from our home base of operations, and it has been in conventional corn and soybean production for the past who knows how long. My task today is to take a grain drill and get beautiful rye seed planted all across this field. It's a little too small, it's a little too wet, but I think I can do it. So I'm off with my bagel and my latte to pick up 1 million bags of rye seed from my friend. I get them out to the field, and I have to get everything set up perfectly. So I'm lugging my 50-pound bags of seed up, getting them into the hopper, spilling them on the ground, but that's okay, because that's where the seeds are supposed to go. And then I have my jerry can of diesel, and I'm pouring it in and getting most of it in. That's where it's supposed to go. Yesterday, I spent hours driving around in circles in this field, and I feel like I haven't made that much progress. But today is the day that I change that. See, I'm no stranger to driving around in circles. About 4 years ago, I started making hay with my best friend, who then later became my boyfriend, and this is our first season as equals. Steven is a great guy. He's really good at fixing stuff that I break. He's really good at picking up heavy things. He's great at creating an amazing logistical plan. So we play to his strengths. We play to my strengths too. I'm good at spreadsheets and helping animals give birth and finding the things that he loses. But today, I am all by myself. So I'm ready to go with my tractor. I turn the key in the ignition, and it goes kurr, 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 brum, kurr, 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 brum, but it won't catch. And I see a little bit of white smoke coming out of the stack. In my limited wisdom, I think that that could be a sign that there's a little water in the fuel line. It has been raining all morning. So I try again. Kurr, 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 brum, kurr, 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 brum, bang! And that is the loudest sound that I have ever heard. So I dismount the tractor, and there's fluids and all sorts of other things happening. And I really don't want to call Steven, because I was planning on coming home and over dinner being able to say that I did everything I was supposed to, I didn't break anything, and I finished ahead of schedule. But that is no longer an option. So I call him, and he doesn't pick up. And so I send several text messages, one of which just reads emergency in all caps with no other identification. And he calls back. And he's at work in another town at a dairy farm. I can hear the cows mooing in the background. And I tell him what's happened, and I say, well, there's a liquid coming out, and I really don't know what the liquid is, and I don't think it's diesel, but it's maybe something else, I don't really know. And he calms me down and says, well, I don't know, touch it, smell it, figure out what it is. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't think it's diesel, but it's coming from the engine area. And he reminds me that I have to open the cover to look at it. So I do that, and it's instantly obvious what has happened. The battery has exploded. That is not a hyperbole, it has actually fully exploded. And so the mystery liquid that I have been touching and smelling is sulfuric acid, which is, I presume, eating away at my skin. And so I relay this information. The battery has exploded. And he says, oh, good, you figured it out. I'm at work. Call my dad. And so we hang up. Then I call his dad. So his dad, Dr. Cowley, is a very handy guy, a retired large animal veterinarian, and also a great storyteller. So I'm looking forward to getting some help, the correct size wrench, and having someone to entertain me. So he lets me know that he can help, but I'm gonna have to go pick him up because his truck won't start, and Bonita, the chocolate lab, has to come too. So before that, I make my way to Tractor Supply, replace the battery. So I get it in the car, and it's multiple pieces. Get to the Tractor Supply, make a beeline for the bathroom, wash my hands, and then I find a helpful employee, relay to him what has happened, and then I bring him out to my truck to show him the pieces of the battery, and he goes, it really did explode. As a female farmer, that's not the first time I've had an interaction like that. Yeah. But we get a battery, $247 later, I'm on my way to pick up Dr. Cowley and Bonita. We head back to the field, we got the battery, it's got a convenient handle on it, get it up into the little tray, close it up. Something doesn't look quite right. So I go to close the cover, and it's touching both of the terminals. And I don't know much, but I know that that would be a problem. So Dr. Cowley says, well, let's think about this. What would Stephen do? He says, Stephen would get a chainsaw, and he would cut a hole in the cover. And while he's not wrong, I shoot down this idea, and we're going back to Tractor Supply. Back at the Tractor Supply, washing my hands again, finding a helpful employee. Bonita's running around, unleashed, greeting everyone in the store. We get a new battery. We're back to the tractor. This one doesn't have a handle on it. So I go to pick it up and get it in the tray, and I can't do it. I can't lift it higher than about my chest. So Dr. Cowley tries it, and he lifts it up higher than I could, and then drops it into the sulfuric acid bucket. So I walk around to the other side, reach into the bucket, pick up the battery, and take all of the strength that I have to waddle around the tractor with it in my arms. Now we have a new strategy, which is to use like a cheerleading style handhold, both of us on opposite sides. We lift the battery up, get it in the compartment. He brought me the right size wrench, get everything tightened down, ready to go. Cover closes, no touching, very good. And I go to start the tractor. Kurr, 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 brum. It's a much more beautiful sound than the bang from earlier. But as soon as I start the tractor, I have to turn it right back off because I have to get the good doctor and the good girl back home. I come back to the field, and a single tear comes down my cheek. But I'm okay. It's late, it's October, the field's gotta get planted so the topsoil doesn't blow away. It's Sunday, I gotta go to my job tomorrow and make children know math. So I drive around in a circle until I'm too wet. I change into my dry clothes, and I go until I can't see the edge of my last pass because it's too dark. And the field did get done, and I have no permanent damage to my fingertips.